Hey guys, that was Angelo Blani with Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Yeah!
From The Lion King.
Yes!
But now, whoo-wee, get ready for the comical expressions from Miss Megan Brown!
Hi. Hi guys, I'm Megan. So this is my first time ever doing stand-up. So, thank you. All right. Without it being like through trivia, which I'm grateful when they let me do that, even though I don't know if the laughs are actually genuine, but I don't pay for them. All right. So, we're in quarantine times. Everybody is. It's kind of the way of the world. Because, 2020, the year the world went crazy, I guess. There are 3 types of adults that stay at home in this quarantine. And I noticed that from all the Instagram posts that all 3 types of these adults are doing. And as somebody who stayed home for 6 weeks during the quarantine, I was one of these 3 adults, at least at one point in time during the entire time. I think everybody is, but this is what you do. During the quarantine, you have the students. These are adults. I'm not talking about the kids who are still in school, but the students. The ones who are learning a new skill. I learned how to French braid.
Yeah, okay.
Don't ask me to do it again, though. So I took a picture as proof. People are baking bread. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but all over Instagram, people are baking bread. I love bread. Obviously, I love bread. But everybody has to learn how to make bread at this point in time. Like before you didn't need bread, because we can still go to stores and most stores still have bread. But, I guess, to each their own. And then one of the other people that you become in this quarantine, I call them the doers. And let me tell you, I tried to do stuff all the time. I painted one day in 6 weeks, I decided to paint. They're the people who are constantly posting, work out at home. It's no problem. You can do it. They're going for walks. I did walks. I did workouts. I was really sore and I didn't do any more. But they're the people who are also doing that household projects. Like all of a sudden you need to remodel your entire house. Like you need to go get paint for the bathroom that you haven't painted in the past 20 years that you've lived at home. But of course, now you need to do those projects. And those people are fine, but you do get burnt out on that every once in a while. Thankfully, those are also the people who are making masks for those who aren't staying at home. So that's the only real, consistent, useful part of the doers, I feel, having been one. And then the third person that we become during this quarantine, and I know because I did it, I call them the hardcore stay-at-home supporters. We're like the backbone. We're on the couch. We are not leaving our house. We're getting delivery from those local restaurants. Most likely with a beer in our hand. And yes, it's 9:30 in the morning because we're going to stay home. We're not going to infect other people. We're going to do not the backbone. We're not in the medical field, but right next to it. We're right there, I feel, holding everybody else up because we're the ones who are actually paying attention in this kind of crisis. But so another thing in this quarantine that kind of sucks. I'm single. That's right, I am. But I look like this.
Hey!
Don't worry, I have a fantastic personality though. I'm just kidding. I really do. It's not that bad because it's not like you can actually date and go anywhere during this time, so it's all right. But it kind of sucks when you're like, wow, 6 weeks in quarantine and I haven't been on a date. That sucks. Oh, it's been 8 weeks already, not 6? What happened to those last 2 weeks? I still wasn't dating anybody. It sucks, man, right? Am I right? Because you can video chat. But what I found is that most people don't care to video chat. If they're like me, they're kind of lazy and barely even want to text because what are we going to do? We're in quarantine. It's not like we can have a party or go out and get a drink. But So it makes it kind of hard. But, and I don't really want to put forth the effort if I'm not going to have to, like, eventually put forth more effort. It's a time to be lazy and stay at home. So that's what I'm going to do. So, but the thing, though, when it's not quarantine time, I can never decide if I'm, like, too picky or if I'm not picky enough. Like, am I too picky? Am I too picky? And I'm like, ooh, how old are you? Where do you live? What kind of car do you drive? Or if I'm not picky enough and I'm like, yeah, but you guys, he likes The Office. Yeah, I know he lives with his mom and he hasn't worked in 5 years and he doesn't have a license, but he can quote The Office to me, like the romantic lines, Jim and Pam.
Aww.
So am I too picky or not picky enough? Because I don't know about you, but I've been in both places and I'm still single. So I don't know if it matters or how to meet in the middle, because I think in the middle is where you find like the marriage and or the long-term relationship, whatever you want to get into. But I don't know where the middle is or if it exists. Also, I'm not trying to date anybody. It's quarantine times. So during this time, though, when I was I guess it would be student, I was teaching my dog new tricks. He was a student, maybe. But he was learning that skill. And since we have to be in quarantine time, so he does this new thing where he charges across the street, but I got him to only do it when the guy's like super attractive and not with the girl. Which happened to be just once. But he still did it, you know, and then I was super embarrassed and I thought my dog was gonna get hit by a car, so I didn't actually flirt or anything. I was just kind of like, I'm so embarrassed, I'm sorry. And he walked away. He had a great walk, and I went home across the street with my dog. The last thing, when I was a doer in this quarantine time, I was deciding to Marie Kondo, I believe it is, tidy things up and get rid of all my clothes. I went through my closet. I pulled all the clothes out and threw them on the bed like she tells you to. And I touched every single object. I thanked every object, whether I wanted to keep it or get rid of it. So I broke everything into piles. I hung my clothes that I'm keeping back up on the shelves or on the rack, whatever. And I have 2 bags of clothes that I don't need in my life. And they're just sitting in my bedroom right next to my closet that I took them out of. Thank you guys. I will not be